What an opening game it was for England at the World Cup. Bukayo Saka scored a brace. That's on his World Cup debut. There were lots of firsts, actually. Marcus Rashford scored just seconds after coming onto the pitch. I think it was his third touch. That's his first as well, actually, in a World Cup. Jude Bellingham put in an absolutely spellbinding performance after becoming the second youngest player to score at a World Cup for England at the age of 19. He is just mature beyond words. He's brilliant. Andros, how impressed are you with him?
Yeah, very much so. I think I saw him. I think was it Germany, the last friendly before the World Cup. I was doing some work on radio and just being able to watch him and see his discipline. I think we sort of had the impression that if we wanted to have two sitters, it had to be Rice and Phillips. But Bellingham's disciplined. He can press high up the pitch, but at times he can get in and form a block with Declan Rice. So I think that was really the game that I saw and thought, right, no, he can partner, and he should partner Rice in this tournament, and he's gone on another level. I know it's only Iran, but the maturity he showed and the quality he showed in that performance the other day was beyond his years.
How good could he get, do you think?
We always do this where we hype up players too soon.
You were that player once, weren't you?
Yes, and now I'm 31, sat on a sofa with you two, unfortunately.
Great company, some would say. Others might not.
But yeah, no, listen, he's got a long way to go. We've seen many players burst onto the scene and not live up to the hype, but it seems he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got the maturity to go all the way, and I really hope he does for himself and for England. Do
you think that he should... He's at Dortmund at the moment, and he sometimes captains that side, and he's scoring goals. I think he's their top goal scorer at Dortmund, isn't he? Do you think if you were advising him, in the experience that you've had in football, would you say stay there a bit longer? Would you say try to come to Premier League, go somewhere else?
I'd say stay there a bit longer, because if he comes to the Premier League, it's going to be 150 odd million, and we're going to have a similar effect to Paul Pogba, where Bellingham scores goals, but his main threat his main quality is not scoring goals. So he's going to come to the Premier League for 150 odd million. The media, everyone's going to be expecting him to score goals, and when he doesn't do that, even if he's playing well, they're going to be on his backs, and we're going to have a Jack Grealish situation. So for me, I'd stay in Germany, do what you're doing, and maybe further along the line come back.
Gabs, just that comparison with price tags and expectations and roles as well, because sometimes the role that the manager wants you to play isn't necessarily the role that the public think you should play. Jack is a great example of that. Jack was 100 million because that's what Aston Villa priced him at, and that's what he was worth to them. Moving to a different team like City, he's got a new job under Pep Guardiola. When you compare him to someone like Erling Haaland, who waited in his contract, so he was a lot cheaper. What is it, 50 million in the end? Yep. God knows what he's on, but his job is actually to score goals, and let's be honest, he's doing it very well. Sometimes those price tags and the expectation can be really warped in football, can't it?
Totally, and Aston Villa had a release clause of £100 million, and Man City matched it. That's not Jack's fault. I think if Aston Villa pull it to 150, maybe Man City might have paid that. So Jack's just playing his football, and I think some people, especially us in the media, we look at stats, how many assists have we got, how many goals have we got. When you actually watch the team play, they've got their roles. If he was wanting to be selfish in that Man City side and say, I haven't scored in 3 games, I'm just going to take players on and keep shooting. You're going to be sitting on the bench with Pep and not playing. You've got to play the way that Man City have to play, and if that's keep the ball moving, you give it to De Bruyne, he switches it to Foden or Mahrez, and you get yourself in the box and you try and get a goal. If the manager's happy with how you're playing, you've got to forget what the media are saying and keep playing your game, because that's what's keeping you in the team.
But I think if he'd come in and not scored the goals that he was hoping to score, and Man City finished second or third, then you can accept the criticism. But he, like you said, he's played his part in a title-winning side. So how can you criticise Jack Grealish for not scoring goals when he's playing and he's helped City win the league? He's obviously doing something right.
Well, you've been there, Andros, where you get the ball. Often you do it. You get the ball. You take 2-3 players on. You do the hard part. You pass it to someone else. They play it across the box. They score. You haven't got the assist, but you've done harder than the guy who's assisted the goal. Yeah. You've got the pre-assist sort of thing. This is why people don't see that on the stat sheet.
I don't really like looking at stats too much, because it can, like you said, you could mishit a shot, mishit a touch, and fall to Haaland, and he puts it away, and you get given an assist. Yeah. End of the season, people are like, oh wow, 10 assists. and your price tag goes up, where as a matter of fact you've miscontrolled the ball 5 times.
It's exactly what Pep says as well, isn't it? He doesn't, I mean, and who are we to question Pep Guardiola? He looks at stats and he's just kind of, that's
so you might look at someone, like they've got 10 assists, 5 goals. Someone's got 2 assists, 2 goals, but they're a lot better player because they're getting the pre-assist and they're running at players. They've got 2 men on them, you know, and they're making it easier for Haaland and other players.
For me as a wide player, I look more at chances created than assists. Assists is just too vague. Anything can happen.
100%.
Harry Maguire. Obviously, there was a lot of conversation. That was probably, out of all of them, the one role in that England side in their opening game that the scrutiny was really on. How did we think he did?
Listen, people would look at the critical moment where Iran did score and he got off the back of him, but in the whole, I think it was an assured performance. I saw a confidence in his play that probably didn't see against Germany, where I think the crowd got to him. He was nervous. He was feeling the pressure. Whereas I don't know, maybe being away from the home support and being in a more neutral stadium, he was calm. He was bringing balls down. He was deadly from set pieces in both boxes, and that's the Harry Maguire that we've seen in the previous 2 major tournaments. And I'm glad that we've got that Harry Maguire back.
I think as well, people were moaning when the team was announced that he was starting, you know, but sometimes managers will have their favourites. You know, I went through a spell where I wasn't scoring, but Marlon Harewood would come on and score, and I'd still start the next game. You know, you're a manager's favourite, and Southgate's got faith in Maguire. He's not playing at Manchester United, but when he plays for him, he's doing well. He will keep with him.
He's a manager's favourite for a reason, because in the last 2 tournaments, when it's really mattered and the pressure's on, he's produced in both tournaments. So there's a reason why the manager keeps picking him.
Same question, I suppose, for Raheem Sterling. Scored a goal, actually, and we've been criticising. I'll admit that on this channel we've been saying, does he deserve that start in the England shirt? Did he prove why he was chosen to start?
You just yawn because your eyes are watering.
No, I'm just so emotional that I'm so happy with the England side. Yeah, I did.
No, Sterling similar before the last major tournament of the Euros. I think I can't remember who it was. They were campaigning to start ahead of Sterling, and he was one of our best players in that tournament. So I think, yes, you have to go on form, but you have to go with your gut. You're a manager. You have to make decisions based on players that you think are going to do well for you, not just players who are playing well at that current moment.
This game, so after you saw the way that USA played against Wales, would you make any changes to the team? And I don't mean drop for any reason. I just mean, would you like to see anyone start, anyone else given a chance?
Maybe not personnel, but I'm going to be really negative. I'd probably change the formation.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Why, Andros?
Why would you do that?
Because I feel like when you play a 4 at the back and a midfielder attacking like Bellingham is, you leave yourself open to the counter-attack. And there were occasions where, especially Luke Shaw on his side, the ball was on the right-hand side. Luke Shaw's gone forward as well, and Iran have counter-attacked. On this occasion, they didn't have the quality to put England away on the counter-attack. But when you look at the USA, the Americans the other night, they've got Weir, they've got Pulisic. These are players that can expose England when they do go forward. But that's just my opinion.